Hi, everyone. My name is Jane Lindley. I am the Assistive Technology Consultant for Saltillo here in Southern Arizona and New Mexico. I'm so excited to be able to share with you today this presentation using Core, exploring Saltillo's chat corner. I think you're really going to love it. We've got some great resources to share with you, and I really appreciate you spending your time with me today. So for the next 90 minutes, just settle in and let's go ahead and get started. And it is also important for me to state my disclosures. So this presentation will focus exclusively on Saltillo products and applications and will not include information or related products or applications. My disclosures are that I'm an employee owner of PRC Saltillo. I receive the Saltillo devices services to use in trainings and presentations, and I am a member of ASHA and ASHA SIG 12. All right, there are 5 handouts for today. One has key points from the PowerPoint and spaces to jot notes. There's also a LowTech core board that we will use during some interactive pieces of the training. And there are some blank planning sheets that we will go over and you can use later for planning your sessions. Let's talk about what we're going to do today. So our agenda for the next 90 minutes includes a little welcome. I want to know and find out who's here, who's joining us for the presentation today. Then we're going to talk about core vocabulary and our brand of core vocabulary, WordPower. Then we're going to talk about the complete implementation planning tools, those handouts. We're going to give you a chat corner tour. And at the end, we'll have time for some questions. So we're going to start out talking about core by trying out a LowTech board activity with you. Okay, so I don't know about you guys, but for me, April means springtime. So I want you to take a look at this LowTech communication board. Just review it, scan it with your eyes. I'm going to read to you some spring-themed scenarios, and I want you to determine if you would be able to communicate about that scenario using this LowTech board that you see on your screen. Okay, so somewhere on your handout, maybe you can tally if you can actually talk about the following scenarios using this board. Okay, so here's the first scenario. You jumped in a puddle. Take a second, look at this core board, maybe tally, see if you can use it to talk about that. The next scenario, you like going on walks and you want to talk about it. Next scenario, you need a jacket because it's windy outside today. Next, you need help opening your bubbles. Okay, next, your bike has a flat tire. What are you going to say on this? What can you say on this communication board to communicate about your bike having a flat tire? Next, Joan pushed you on the swings, and it was so fun and you want to talk about it. Next scenario, someone asked you what your favorite season is. Okay, and the last one, oops, You forgot to flip over the burgers on the grill. Okay, so I hope you took a little tally of what you could say, or if you could use this communication board to talk about those scenarios. Grill, barbecue, barbecue. Yes. So using the chat window, I see some of you have already done that, but I want you to write what you noticed. Let's reflect, take some time and reflect on what you noticed about using this communication board. So I'll give you a second, head over to the chat window. Okay, I already see it's all fringe, limited verbs, no core words, just fringe, no core words. Yeah, right? That's what you noticed about this communication board. We need verbs. I love that. No core. Yeah, primarily nouns. So we need some more language in order to actually have a conversation, right? We need prepositions, we need short words or little words. It really limits what we can say in a variety of scenarios when we only have access to nouns, right? Very good. Thank you guys so much for sharing. Awesome. Okay, so after reflecting, let's explore what makes up core vocabulary. Everybody mentioned core, we need core, there's no verbs there. So let's talk about core. So core are words and messages that are commonly used by a variety of individuals and occur frequently. As you can see here, they make up much of what we say, and we can use them throughout the day. So what word classes make up core vocabulary? They cover a lot of different parts of speech, but which one, if we look at this list here, which one is missing? Which one is missing? Yes, thank you, Heather. Nouns, right? Which class of words is missing? Nouns are not part of core vocabulary. But what do we often put on low-tech and beginning high-tech AAC pages? You got it right. We put nouns because they are easy to represent with symbols and kids can label and request with nouns. But that really limits what we are able to model for them or to help them grow their language. So we've talked about core vocabulary a little bit, but what is the other big group of vocabulary words? Those are called fringe words. As you can see, they only make up 20% of what we say, and they are mostly nouns. So those low-tech activity boards or AAC pages that are topic specific are often filled with fringe vocabulary. And during the springtime, we often talk about rain and flowers and the temperature warming up and that kind of thing. But how often do you use those words again later? Or let's say your student is into Star Wars. We might have a lot of specific words to talk about those things, but they might not be able or might not be useful for talking about when you're in an art lesson or when you're wanting more pizza or you're wanting specific toppings on your pizza. Those words aren't going to apply in all scenarios. So we really need to think about our students and our kids with limited verbal communication. And how often do you hear them just saying a noun like pizza? Well, what about the pizza? We want to know more. And that's what core allows us to do. So here are some characteristics of core versus fringe and what that looks like. So core words are a small number of words, whereas fringe, there are lots and lots of fringe words. Core has high frequency of use and fringe is a little bit lower frequency. Core is used 80% of the time in daily conversation, whereas Fringe is used only 20% of the time in daily communication. Core is useful across all environments. Fringe, limited use in various environments and topics. Core contains a variety of parts of speech. We've got verbs, adjectives, prepositions, adverbs, pronouns. Fringe, mostly proper names and nouns. Core has word flexibility in different word classes, and with Fringe, you're going to have less flexibility. Core is useful in a large variety of communication functions and less so with Fringe words. With Core, you have the potential for expanding utterance length and less potential when we're just using Fringe vocabulary. And lastly, with Core, you have less pages to search, and with Fringe, it requires multiple pages. So that's just a little comparison between the characteristics of Core and Fringe. But let's talk a little bit more about why we use and teach Core. So sentences and phrases allow for speed in the communication process and should be a part of any AAC vocabulary set. However, Core allows for flexibility and novel generation. It's useful across contexts, can be combined to increase semantic and syntactic complexity. It allows expression of a variety of communicative functions. It has consistent location of vocabulary and overlaps with academic core vocabulary and literacy. Okay, so it's really important to use and teach Core with any AAC system. Now, let's also think about why we communicate. There are so many more reasons to communicate besides requesting a toy or labeling objects in the classroom or at home. We can do more than just say more snack. With Core vocabulary, we are giving our AAC users more words to communicate for more functions. So a study by Banerjee et al. In 2003 looked at 50 speaking toddlers that were using 2 to 3 word utterances. And these 26 words you see here on up 96.3% of what they said. I'm going to let that sink in just a bit. These 26 words made up 96.3% of what they said. So with just those 26 words, the toddlers were able to initiate, maintain, and terminate interactions. That's pretty powerful when it comes to having 26 words, right? It's really important. And when you look at those, they're really comprised of core words. Okay, so now let's kind of reflect back and think back to our low-tech grid that we used for trying to talk about spring. And now we have a new board. Now we have a new low-tech communication board. I will read through those same scenarios, and I want you to see if you are able to participate with this new board instead. So either tally on your own notes, or please feel free to chat it in the window with the scenarios that we used from before. So here's the first scenario. You jumped in a puddle. Looking at this new communication board, what can you say using this board? What can you say? I see in, here, there, that. Yes? Right? Okay, next scenario. You like going on walks. Using our new communication board with core vocabulary included, what is it that you can say about you like going on walks? You walk. Very good. More walk. You go on walk. Yes, very good. Yes, I walk. I walk here. I walk there. Very good. Awesome. Here's the next scenario. You need a jacket because it's windy outside today. What do you see on our communication board that you could use because you need a jacket because it's windy? Yes, help that on. Help that on. Very good. Yes. On. My. Right? Very good. Thank you. All right, next scenario. You need help opening your bubbles. We're going to play bubbles. What can you use on our communication board to help when you need help opening your bubbles? Off. Yes. Help come off. Very good. Yes, thank you. Okay, next scenario. Uh-oh, your bike has a flat tire. Stop. Very good. Help. Yes. You might say, come off, no go. Yeah, no more go. Very good. Help, no go. Awesome. Yes, wonderful. Okay. All right, next scenario. Joan pushed you on the swings. What could you say? More go. I go. You help. Awesome. Go, more, stop. Yes, very good. All right, next one. Someone asked you what your favorite season is. What could you say? What could you say? Mm-hmm. Very good. Out. All right, last one. Oops. You forgot to flip over the burgers on the grill. What could you say? All done. Yes. Or maybe you need help. Yep. All done. Off. Come off. Very good. Yeah. So there's so many more things that we can say. We have a LowTech board that includes core vocabulary versus Fringe, right? There's so many more options. Okay. So to sum up core vocabulary, it is used all the time, everywhere. It meets academic teaching needs. AAC users need to have access to vocabulary. Now, how do we here at Saltillo represent core vocabulary? And that's what we're going to jump into next. Okay, so with that knowledge of core vocabulary, let's take a look at Saltillo core-based vocabulary files, and that's WordPower. So WordPower is a word-based vocabulary suite using high-frequency core words. It's intuitive and easy to use, and there are different configurations ranging from 20 to 140 buttons. Okay, so we know that core words make up 70 to 80% of what we say every day. WordPower includes color coding and access to single words, which allows for novel and generative speech. What's wonderful, one of the wonderful things about WordPower is that it's developed and based on research and clinical expertise. And we're going to talk a little bit more about that, just who it is that created this amazing suite of vocabularies. So here's a little bit more about WordPower. It was developed by Nancy Inman, a speech language pathologist. Each vocabulary uses high-frequency core words such as I, like, go, stop, etc. Nouns and adjectives are organized into logical categories. There are also logically organized categories for people, questions, actions, social, and time. The vocabulary options include grammatical word classes. It also offers next logical words to reduce keystrokes and ease of communication. So for example, the eat button navigates to categories of food, and the turn button leads to it on, it off the page. So you can say turn it on, turn it off, turn the page. There are keyboard options to fit all varieties of individual needs. There's QWERTY keyboards, simplified keyboard options, phonics keyboards, ABC, and options to align with key guards as well. Vocabulary designs include options, as I said, from 20 to 140 buttons on a page, including file options designed specifically for individuals using scanning as an access method. WordPower uses color coding to help with visual organization. And here is what that looks like. So a few color coding organizations include yellow, which leads to pronouns and people, green, leading to verbs or action words, adjectives and the describing words are in purple, nouns or our group page leads to or is in orange. Okay, so just some simple color coding to help with visual organization. In the WordPower 60 Basic, the home page contains a high number of core words. Let me go back. Yeah, a high number of core words. So if we are targeting core words, we are also starting to introduce them to some early sight words, right? So, yep, there we go, next. There's also some color categorization that happens on our places page. So you'll notice that all of the buildings, home, outside, the buildings are in pink, the home places are all in yellow. The outside places are listed in green, just to help with some of that visual organization when looking at the page, so they're not all the same. Okay, so here's that home page for WordPower 60 Basic. All right, and The words that are highlighted are also some of the top sight words that we want our students to learn. So again, if we're targeting core words, we are also starting to introduce them to some of that early sight words, which are highlighted here. Okay, within the logical navigation of WordPower, we can also work on expanding our students' language with minimal movement to other pages. So if I press turn on the home page, buttons around that button will change to some of the logical next words I could use to form a phrase. So I can direct the action of someone by telling them to turn around or turn the page or tell them my turn. And that type of communication is really motivating for our students, right? To be able to direct the action of others and have some control over the activity is really motivating. So these are some of those great intuitive predictive features that are included in WordPower. So how do you teach core using the WordPower files? We can still use many of the same techniques that we use with speaking students in language therapy: sabotage, waiting, cueing, modeling with expectation. But before we start any activity, we need to think of these considerations. We need to set the scene for success. We need to have high expectations, write scripts, and use peer modeling when appropriate. So before we begin, keep these in mind. We need to know the limitations of whatever vocabulary file your student is using. Not every student is or should be on the same system. One size does not fit all, but most students benefit from a core vocabulary-based system. What words are available on your student's system? What words are not available on your student's system? Regardless of what they are using, make sure you are targeting different word classes and different functions of communication. So let's think about some of our students' daily activities. Since we're not together to shout out answers, I will go through some of the ones that I typically hear during trainings. So some of those typical daily activities that we see, especially at the elementary level or early childhood level: circle time, reading is across the board for all ages, drawing, writing, of course, eating, playing, whether that be with cars, blocks, dolls, or board games, what have you, gym time or play time, exercise time, recess time, and of course, some of our kids' favorites: watching TV, YouTube videos, whatever that is. Okay, so with these activities in mind, I want you to take out your LowTech board, or if you have a device like a NovaChat or TouchChat or even Chat Editor available, you can use that. Using WordPower 60 Basic, if you have a device, or if you have the LowTech board, this LowTech board is based on WordPower 60 Basic. See if you can find these words that are listed here to talk about one of the activities we listed. So think about where it is located. How many buttons did you have to hit to get to it? Was it on another page or was it on the home page? One of the key things for modeling core vocabulary is to get to know where the words are located in the system. The more comfortable you become with where they are, the easier it is to model them during an activity. So give yourself time to learn the systems and play around with where the words are. So if we look at this list of words here and we look at the LowTech board, we can identify that most of these words are included in our LowTech board. I is there over on the left-hand side, as well as it. They're in yellow because they are pronouns. Then we go into some of those verbs: go, help, like, want, finish, open. And you can see that they're all included on this 96 location LowTech board. The more you familiarize yourself with whatever system you're using, whether it be low-tech or high-tech, the easier it's going to become for you to become a much better communication partner. Okay, so are there any questions so far? I've kind of been just keeping my eye on the chat window a little bit, but it looks like most things have been answered. So if there aren't any questions no? Any pressing questions? Nope, it looks like we're good. If you do have a question, go ahead and throw it in the chat window, and I'll get to it, or Camber will answer it for me. Okay, so let's keep going. All right, so you've played around with core words and WordPower, but now let's talk about how we can implement core words into therapy and beyond. So there are plenty of ways we can plan out our therapy with AAC, but for today, we're going to look at these 3 models for planning. So in your handouts, you have a blank planning sheet for each. You can fill things in on them or on your main handout as we go through them, whatever you prefer. But let's just consider. Think about it. Maybe you are someone who thinks of core words you need to target and you begin your planning from there. Or maybe you're someone who selects an activity, you know what's motivating to your students or to your kids, or a theme, and then you begin planning from there. Or perhaps you know that you need to expand the functions or types of communication opportunities, and you might start there. And we have a planning tool for each of these scenarios that we're going to look through today. So first, let's look at choosing core words first. So the core word planning sheet can be used for this. So at the bottom of the sheet, there are these reminder steps. The first reminder step is to start out simple. Don't bite off more than you can chew. Maybe only target 1 or 2 words at a time until you feel more comfortable with it. Figure out a couple of activities that you can use those words in throughout the day so that you're not changing words constantly and needing to find those new words. Just pick 1 or 2 and use those throughout the day. If you can create more opportunities to use these core words throughout the day, it's going to make it much easier for you as the communication partner. Once you have these core words chosen and you know what activities you're doing throughout the day, then you can write yourself a script. How are you going to model the words? How could you prompt their participation and encourage using those words? Then you take the time to practice with a low-tech board or a device with their language system. You can also use emulation software like Chat Editor to create pathways for a visual reference for you and other adults. There is no right or wrong amount of time. Excuse me, something in my throat. There's no right or wrong amount of time to target the same words. Look at what your student needs. Maybe cycle through a few every couple of weeks. You can find lists of core words to target at places like Project Core and Practical AAC's Year of Core, or you can use a list of theme words for your classroom. There's no right or wrong. but it's good to start and keep it simple. Okay, so let's look at it in action. So I just grabbed the April list of words from Practical AAC's Year of Core. And this is for WordPower 60 Basic, but you can also find them on the blog for other vocabulary files. I decided I wanted to target the words who, feel, out, and do. So some activities I thought of were reading a book, drawing a picture, playing house. But what we're going to do is we're going to watch a short video of reading a wordless book. And I want you to jot down a couple of things you might model using these target words from this video. Okay, so it's a wordless book, and we just went ahead and flipped through some pages. There's no audio, so you're not missing anything here. But let's watch this short video. And again, I want you to jot down what you might model on a page or two of this book. We're not going to go through the whole book, just a few pages. Jot down some things that you might be able to model using the words who, out, feel, do. Okay, perfect. I saw some people chatting some. They are out, feel busy. Wonderful. Okay, so now with your script you jotted down, try modeling those words using your LowTech board or the device you have handy. Okay, so if you're wondering where those words are on your LowTech board, I've highlighted them here. Let's watch that video again while you model those on your LowTech board or your device if you have it. Okay, so let's watch it again and you model. Oop, excuse me. Okay, I might model. He looks out the window. Who does he see? He sees people outside. Look at the woman at the bus stop. How does she feel? Who is that? Very good. How does she feel? Right? Very good. Awesome. So let's go to the next one. So, oopsies. So what were some, I noticed in the chat window, some people were chatting out. Yeah, feel cold. Who is out? Who is that? Fantastic. That's just one way that you can start planning your activities when you choose core words first. But let's look at another option, and that's to pick one activity and then select what core words could be targeted during that activity. So this is when you really want to think about what your student likes to do or what is in the daily routine. Once you have picked out an activity, then think about a couple of words that you could target during that activity. A great resource for this is Active with AAC, which is in the Saltillo chat corner. Okay, so I chose the Active with AAC Play-Doh sheet for today. Some words that are listed on the handout are can, open, and help. So again, let's watch a video and jot down what we could model using these core words, open, can, and help. Okay, so hopefully you've jotted down things, a little script of what you might be able to say. I see in the chat window we've got a few ideas. So let's find open, can, and help on our LowTech board or device and try modeling what you scripted as we watch the video again. So if you're using that LowTech board, here are the 3 target words: can, help, open. And let's go back and watch that video again and use your LowTech board or device to model. Okay, so we have the Play-Doh. Oh, can you help me open? Help open. Uh-oh. Help get out. Help get out. Ooh, can you roll? What can we make? I can roll the Play-Doh. Ooh, I can cut the Play-Doh. Help cut Play-Doh. Awesome. So you can see if you start thinking activity first, you can choose the target words and then write out a script. It makes it so much easier to be able to target those core vocabulary during the activity if you kind of script it out and think about it first. The next and third option is to start with a function of communication. As we mentioned earlier, we might want to do more than make requests and get our needs met. So by picking a function to target, we can make sure that we are targeting a variety of functions. So think about what core words could be targeted for your chosen function, and then pick a couple activities that lend themselves to addressing that function and those words. Then, finally, write your script. So if your student is working on increasing their use of a specific function, this would help with planning your modeling of that. One thing that I find I get a lot of bang for my buck with is commenting. It can be helpful for so many activities. So now that we've picked our function, then we can pick out our target core words. Then we pick some activities where we can practice this. So for today, I picked picture description, targeting the words like, don't, see, and go. So with the words like, don't, see, go, what can you model for each of these pictures? I want you to jot some of them down, either in the chat window or on your handouts. So here's the first picture. Here's the next picture. Right. Next picture. And finally, this picture. Don't let go. Very good. Okay, so now that we've looked at the pictures, jotted down some words or some phrases or some things that we might be able to model, now let's find those words on our board. We can practice modeling our scripts while we look at the pictures again. So here we have like, don't, see, and go. If we go back to our pictures, with the words like, don't, see, and go, let's model these again now on our LowTech board. So we have this picture here. You might say something like, I don't like the cold. I see a snowman. I see the boy on the sled. I like to go fast. In the next picture, he likes it. I see a big mountain. Don't fall. Don't like ride, yes. Next picture. I see food. She likes it. I like sweets. And in this last picture, go fast or go up, go down. I don't like heights. I like to go up, down, and fast. Right? So using these planning tools, we're able to target a variety of core vocabulary across multiple activities. Just once you kind of figure out which type of planner you are, we have a tool for each of that, whether it's core words first, activity first, or function of communication. You can use these tools to help plan and execute your therapy. Any questions so far? I don't see questions. Say thank you guys so much for participating. That was really fun. Out of that, now we're going to jump into the chat corner. So now that we have looked at some of the tools to help you plan out working on core vocabulary, let's check out the amazing and, more importantly, free resources that Saltillo offers in the implementation chat corner. So when you're on the Saltillo website, you're going to go to the implementation tab at the, then you're going to click on Chat Corner / WordPower supports. And one of my favorite supports or resources to share with, especially with SLPs, but really with any communication partner, is the Let's Teach Core resources. So we're going to dig into that a little bit. Okay, so when you click on it, you will get a pop-up with all of these core words to choose from. And each one of these files is a single page handout. So I'm going to show you the one that is for the word go. Okay, so this is what it looks like in its entirety, but we're going to break down each piece. So each handout follows this layout. At the top, you see an explanation of the target core word, followed by where you would find it in the vocabulary files. Remember, especially with WordPower, it is color-coded. So go is an action word or verb, which is in green. Okay, so here's where go is located on WordPower 60 Basic. It's right there for you on the home page. All right, next, it gives the Let's Teach Core page gives a description about how you can introduce the word to your student. So use go in context, try to explain it at the learner's level, right? We're modeling, we're touching the word in the vocabulary as you say it. So it provides an example. Go means to move to a place. We can go over here, we can go over there. And you can actually do this while you're physically moving with that learner, okay? Next on the Let's Teach Core page is, it talks about how to model it. The great thing is that it lists a variety of contexts in which we can model that word to help build in some variety. So you might model the word throughout the day, touching go anytime you say it. Go away, let's go eat. Do you want to go play outside? What time should we go? Are you ready to go? So in WordPower 60 Basic, when I press on go in WordPower, I get these common next words to create phrases like go for a walk, or go away, or go back, or go over, which is great for expanding and growing language. The next section talks about how we can encourage the use of the word in different activities. It gives a few ideas for you to ponder, like doing it during reading, or singing a song, or racing and playing. It encourages you to move beyond just modeling it, but using it in a variety of activities. So when reading the book Going on a Bear Hunt, we can just model the word go whenever it pops up in the story, which is wonderful, right? It's a really easy way. We know it's in the title, the word going. We can use that to just model go consistently throughout the story. Now, during movement and play, we can model go to continue things. We can also start to expand their utterances and tack on go fast. Oop. Apologies. Yes, so when we're reading, we can say, we're going on a bear hunt. We're gonna catch a big one. What a beautiful day. We are not scared. And every time we're saying the word go, we touch it on our LowTech board or our device. Ooh, ooh, grass, long wavy grass. We can't go over it. We can't go under it. Oh no, we've got to go through it. Right? And when we're doing that movement and play, we can use go to continue things, as I said. So what do you want me to do? Let's go, right? Should we go fast or go slow? Or you can throw in the opposite and say the word stop. We can use go to direct actions with video clips and songs. You can pause what you're watching and model for them that they can tell you go if they want to keep watching or listening. A fellow speechie showed me a bunch of great free wordless videos using Pixar shorts and Simon's Cat, excuse me. They're short enough to get through easily and won't take up the entire time, but provide opportunities to direct actions as well as comment on the videos. These are great for all ages, it's not limited to an elementary or early childhood age. I saw this used with middle school and high school often, and it was really motivating and actually quite funny. So I encourage you to check that out. Finally, the Let's Teach core handouts talk about how we can expect our students to use the core word and gives a few more suggestions. These Let's Teach core pages are a wonderful resource for any communication partner. So I highly recommend you go into our chat corner and check these out and download a few and share. Next, we will take a look at the Challenge Week section. So each month, a new handout is posted to our website and on our social media pages, but the daily topic stays the same for each Challenge Week. These are geared towards the communication partners and make it fun to challenge each other. So this might be something you might use with your speech department or at home as communication partners to really challenge yourself and get everybody motivated. So for example, we have Modeling Monday. And for April 2021, it suggests that the communication partners challenge each other to model these words: can, help, and let's. So who can do more, right? Then it gives you some ideas how to model it. We even have these great modeling marker handouts that you can use to tally how many times you modeled each word. Great for data collection or even just to produce and show each other, look, this is how many times I modeled, how many times did you model can or help or let's. Now, I've talked about this calendar a bit. The Saltillo calendar is another great resource. And we have all of our past calendars archived on the website, as well as materials that go with them. Now, this year, the Saltillo calendar is all about travel and adventure. So each month, there is a suggested and core words to target in that book. These are common children's books that you can find in the library. And there's also a suggested activity that goes along with each reading, each monthly reading, with the core words that are suggested. In the chat corner, we also have a read-along video for the targeted book that shows the communication partners how you can model the target words reading the book. So just so I can kind of give you an idea of where these things actually live on our website, I'm going to head over to the chat corner briefly just to show you where these are. Okay, so this is our Saltillo website. Hopefully, there we go. Hopefully my internet will work. Okay, so this is the Saltillo website. If you go under the Implementation tab and come down to Chat Corner WordPower Supports, you'll see that there are lots and lots of free resources that are available here. I mentioned Let's Teach Core, which is right here, and all of the PDFs and handouts that are available under Let's Teach Core. I mentioned previously active with AAC. All of those handouts are available here. And the 2021 Saltillo calendar supports are all under this link. Okay. And if you're looking for the download of the calendar, you can find it here. You can also find all of our adventure packs, which I'm going to touch on in just a second. But if let's say you don't have access to the book of the month, we have a read along that's under our books and stories. So if you go to books and stories and scroll down to Love the Earth, it will give you a link to read along the book on our YouTube channel. You can get the read along here from our chat corner, or you can go to our Saltillo YouTube channel and read along directly from there. This is a resource. Again, if you don't have access to the book, but you still want to participate, this is a great way to read along, and it also gives the communication partner an idea of just how you can go about modeling the target words while reading the book. Okay. So each month of our calendar has an adventure pack, which includes a virtual travel scavenger hunt, which is super cool. Now, April's travel scavenger hunt takes you to the live view of the Wolong Grove Panda Yard in China. So if you just click on this link on our scavenger hunt handout online, it will take you directly to the live stream of these adorable pandas. How cute is that? So using the scavenger hunt questions, you can model things like, what will we see? Or where were the pandas? Or how many pandas did you see? What were the pandas doing? Did you see any baby pandas? Right? The adventure pack also includes printable core word spinners for WordPower 42 Basic and 60 Basic. These are all free printables that you can get by going to our website. Let me show you where these will live. So if you go to our website and you look under the 2021 Saltillo calendar supports, scroll down and you'll see April 2021 Adventure Pack download. If you click on it, it will give you access to the scavenger hunt handout, as well as the model markers that we talked about, modeling markers, and the core word spinners. The chat corner is also the home of many low-tech communication boards and flipbooks that we offer for your downloading and printing pleasure. They are formatted PDFs that are easy to use. You can print another copy of the LowTech board we used today, or If you're working on project core training modules, we have a WordPower layout of those that's also available. The flip books are available for some of our WordPower files to have a low-tech backup of the pages. So if you go to the chat corner, if I go back and I show you the chat corner, you'll see that we have lots of options right here under low-tech communication board options. Okay, so we also have the option for those of us who are still doing teletherapy, a virtual background that you can download. We have our flip options for WordPower 42 Basic, WordPower 60 Basic, WordPower 60, WordPower 108, and WordPower 48 Espanol. We also have some of those single page core word communication boards available for download in a variety of languages. And lastly, we have the Pillow poster that you can also download, and links to all of those here down at the bottom. Okay, so as we discussed earlier, most AAC systems have an emulation software that you can download. Saltillo has Chat Editor available under the Supports and Education tab under Downloads. Let me show you where that lives. So instead of going under the Implementation tab, you want to look under the Support and Education tab and Downloads. You can download Chat Editor on a PC computer, and it's awesome because you can use it to edit files or use it to create support materials. So let me jump to Chat Editor, where you'd be able to download Chat Editor from our website. Okay, I mentioned that you can use it to create support materials. So let me show you what that looks like. I have Chat Editor open right here, and I'm also going to open a Word document so that I am able to show you Chat Editor, okay? So using the capture feature, you can capture buttons as you click on them and copy and paste them into a Word document. So let me just show you what that looks like. If we have the capture feature turned on, I'm able to turn it on and click on, copy that to the clipboard, go over to my Word document and paste that into my Word document just as easily as that. I can resize it for whatever visual needs or making materials to use in the classroom or for using in symbol pathways for books. You can paste it into a Word doc, into Google Slides, into PowerPoint. This is a great tool for many purposes. Visual prompts for a pathway if you're working on a new sequence that you're unfamiliar with, or you can use it to adapt books with reminders for the communication partners to model certain words. You can label your room with symbols, add them to your word wall. Really, the possibilities are endless. We have a variety of webinars that you can check out to learn more about using Chat Editor and the different, all the possibilities that there are out there. And if you have a way that you use Chat Editor, I'd love for you to share that in the chat. I'm always glad to hear how people are using it. Okay. Okay, so do we have any questions or any comments? It looks like we might have a question here. Camber, do we have any questions I need to address?
Nope, I think I got it.
Okay, fantastic. So we do have some extra time here, and I want to make sure that the things that I covered today, you know where they, where all of these things live on our website, because while we did go over them, I might not have shown you exactly where you find all of these things. Okay, so I'm going to go back over to our website and make sure. So again, under this implementation tab in the chat corner and WordPower supports, we have lots and lots of free downloads. So I mentioned that the 2021 Saltillo calendar supports are available, but just because we're in the year 2021 does not mean that it wouldn't be a great idea for you to go back into the 2020 calendar. Even though nobody wants to go back into 2020, maybe just go back into the calendar and use some of those as inspiration, or those readings, read-alongs, and activities as inspiration for things that you can do at home or during your therapy. So if you go into the 2020 supports, you'll find all kinds of things, including the downloads for dice that you can print and make. They make for really great games if you want to target those specific words like how, does, it, bad, good. These are free printables that you're able to print out and create yourself. It makes for a fun activity to do at home. And there's one for each month. So you can spend a couple of weeks using this dice or die, and then go to the next month and use that for your next activity. We also have some sensory practice. So the 2020 calendar was all about the senses. And it has some really great activities in here, including recipes, sensory practice, smart charts, if you go through and kind of check them out, I think you'll be inspired to create all kinds of new and exciting, motivating activities for your students. We also have access to the 2019 and 2018 calendar supports. We've been doing this calendar for a while because it's been a really great tool. So if you don't have copies of those, you can easily download those from our website. Oh, it looks like we have a comment. Oh, okay. I'll keep going. We have lots of games that you can download. We also have activities under our books and stories for each of those activities in our calendar from 2020. So click around in our chat corner and our WordPower supports. One thing that I didn't mention about Let's Teach Core that I love to do is, if let's say somebody needs a summer project this summer, what I've done is I've gone into the Let's Teach Core and I've downloaded all of them and actually made them into a binder where I've put them into sheet protectors, and I give them out each month to teachers or a classroom and say, hey, here's the word of the month. You can just reference this for the next few weeks for activities. It's a great way to start incorporating core vocabulary in our lessons, and it really isn't overwhelming because it kind of just walks you through, like we showed you. It walks you through each of the words and how you can use it. So let's look at another one like eat. Right? So it tells you how to find the word, how to introduce it by pitching the word, how to model it, how to encourage the use of it, and then finally, what we do to expect the use of that word, right? Create the opportunities for that person to use the word. But if you have these already printed out and in a reusable form, it makes it really nice to be able to just hand it off and say, this is what we're working on this month in therapy, and I appreciate it if you also used it in the class or at home to hand out to parents. It's a really great option. Okay. Again, if you guys are not familiar with our YouTube channel, I also recommend you go over to our channel and poke around in there. We have lots and lots of options. I mentioned the chat editor webinar. All of the webinars that we have also live on our, once they've been recorded, they live on our YouTube channel. So you can go review any ones that you may have missed. We also have some great short clips called Stepping Stones to AAC that are great for sharing with any communication partner. I also love to share the Saltillo AAC in action. What these are again, short little videos that show you how you can actually use core words in daily activities. And these are done by our consultants. I love to share these with parents or with teachers because it's just a short little clip and it's a video of a consultant showing you how you can use core vocabulary in daily activities. We have lots and lots of product demos and implementation tools or implementation videos for you to see on our YouTube channel. So if you haven't already, go to YouTube, search for Saltillo, subscribe so that you know when there's something new that's coming up, and poke around and see what it is that you might actually like to learn more about, kind of on demand when you want it. Okay, do we have any more questions that have come in? I want to make sure that I'm addressing any of them. It looks like we're good on that front.
There was one question about making suggestions or requesting words that might not be in Let's Teach Core.
Oh, okay. So what I love about these Let's Teach Core is that it kind of gives you a template for creating your own. So once you've become familiar with kind of the Let's Teach Core practice, that's when I might reach out to your local consultant and say, hey, do you think we could work on developing some more of these together because we really love them and we see a need for additional words. Another thing, and this is something I tell a lot of my speechies and parents who do really love those Let's Teach Core, I highly recommend that you go into our website and use our feedback portal in order to let the people at Saltillo know that this is something you love and you use and we want to see more of, because I agree. I think they are wonderful tools, and if we hear from you guys that you want more, that's going to be the most powerful voice. So if you actually go into our website and go to our feedback, oh shoot. You can contact us by emailing us. You can provide feedback right here, general inquiries or product inquiries and feedback. Please go into our feedback portal and submit your feedback. We want to hear from you guys. It's so important to know what it is that we can do better to support you. Okay, so if you want to see more Let's Teach Core, let us know, because that's what we're going to do. Is we're going to do whatever we can to make sure that we meet your needs and give you the tools to help you be the best communication partner that you can be. Okay, we have a couple more minutes here. I'm going to dive into also the support and education tab. I really love this tab and I use it all the time because we have some really great tutorials that live on here. So if you haven't gone to our video tutorials page on our website, I highly recommend you head over there. We have lots that kind of expand on if you're interested in learning about voice assistants and using devices with voice assistants, stories and scripts, and how to use those to support your AAC users. We have books, and this is also where you can go to find all of our read-along stories. So there's lots of ways to get access to those supports for our calendar. Okay, so it doesn't seem like we have too many more questions. I do want to put my contact information up here. My name is Jane Lindley. I am the consultant for Southern Arizona and New Mexico. So if you're in those areas, please do not hesitate to reach out to me. If you're not in that area, you can find your consultant by going to our website. And I really, really recommend that you reach out because your consultant is going to be one of your greatest resources. So if you're just on our homepage for Saltillo and you scroll down to the bottom, you're going to be able to find your representative down here at the bottom. It says looking for help, find your representative, and you can easily just enter your zip code up here and it will tell you who your consultant is for your area. Reach out to your consultant, get in touch with them, request a training, see if they can provide you with your very own hard copy of the calendar or any low-tech materials that you need. That's what we're here for. And we want to make sure that you get what you need, again, to be the most successful communication partner that you can be. So find us, reach out to us, use us, don't abuse us, but we're here to help as much as possible. So it looks like we're just about at the top of the hour. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. I really appreciate you being here. Follow us on social media. We have lots of great resources on there as well. I'll stick around for a minute or two if anybody has any additional questions or wants to pick my brain. I'm happy to help. Thank you so much for joining me, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. Somebody asked, where do we access the course evaluation? That will be in a follow-up email. You'll get all of the information you need to submit your paperwork and do the course evaluation. Thank you guys so much. You were a wonderful group today, so attentive, and I love the participation. Go forth and be amazing communication partners. I saw a question. There is no template for the Let's Teach core that's available for download, but I think that would be a great submission for our feedback portal. If you wanted to go into our feedback portal, we can, here, let's see. Yeah, like I said, head over to contact Saltillo and go into our feedback portal and request a template for the Let's Teach core. I think that that's a great idea for people to be able to create their own. Thank you guys. Thank you so much.